Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to Keep Her Quick, your latest local news and weather commercial free in about 15 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather, though, because we had quite a bit of a fire yesterday over in Selah. That wind really not helping out.
Yeah, no, that wind did not help out yesterday. Now, as we take a look at our weather headlines today and going forward, we are going to be sunny and cooler today. There will be some pockets of breezy winds for today, but it won't be quite as widespread as yesterday. We do heat things back up, though, on Friday with highs for most of us getting into the low to mid 90s to wrap up the week. And then for the weekend, we do see blue skies and rather hot temperatures. Speaking to that wind yesterday, the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla underperformed when it came to the forecast. We were forecasting 35 to 40 mile per hour winds. The Tri-Cities and Walla Walla didn't really come close to that. In Yakima, though, wind was pretty strong. Pendleton and Ellensburg certainly experienced strong wind. And as I just mentioned, there will be some lingering pockets of breezy wind today. We will talk about that forecast more coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in the Tri-Cities. 2 juveniles are behind bars for murder after a young man in Pasco was fatally shot over the weekend. Now, you might remember the SWAT situation from Tuesday. Pasco police tracked down at least one of the suspects to this house and made an arrest. The name of the victim shot in the area of 6th and a Gate this past Sunday has not been released. If you have any information about what happened Sunday, Pasco police would like to hear from you. And in Yakima County, a man accused of helping conceal Resenda Strong's body after her murder on the Yakima Reservation in October 2018 is now having to wait a little longer for his trial to start. It was scheduled to start on August 4th, but this week it was moved to November 17th. The man faces 1 count of accessory after being accused of helping dump a freezer that contained the body of Strong after she was murdered. Her body was found just outside of Toppenish in July 2019. And hot weather, dry conditions, breezy winds, some of the prime conditions for brush fires to start and spread quickly. And that's exactly what happened yesterday morning in Selah. The fire got started just before 9 in the morning near Wixon Park at around the 400 block of South 5th Street. Helicopters were used to drop water on the fire, which quickly spread up a hillside. 2 homes were destroyed and another one was damaged. Fortunately, no one was injured, and the fire was contained by about 1:30 yesterday afternoon. It burned about 16 acres of land. Now, shortly after that fire started, neighbors and others jumped into action to try to prevent the fire from spreading. KIMA's John Franklin reports on their efforts.
Well, not a whole lot. Messed with my motorcycle a little bit and went to old Goodwill to get some new clothes and some shoes and saw the fire.
I was bringing my daughter back home from her dentist appointments. Down the road, I saw that the hill was burned, and it wasn't burned when we left. So it looked like it caught from the bottom and worked its way up. And then we just saw the fence engulfed, and then the house just was gone within seconds.
One man started to fight the fire before the firefighters were even on the scene.
Drove over here and asked a neighbor if they had a shovel I could use, and kind of laughed at me, and I said, I'm serious. And so, yeah, grabbed a shovel and went to work.
Before long, he had company.
You don't go into the fire alone. You always have to stick around with somebody. You know, I saw him up there. I was like, you know, I can at least try. Got a shovel and went up there and tried to cut line with him, but my shovel broke. So I went up there, started stomping on the fire. It wasn't too bad.
Several neighbors told me that Marlon Lincoln and Cassidy Ferris are heroes, but they say they did what anybody else would do.
Well, I wouldn't say too much of a hero, just man doing what he should, I guess.
Amid the evacuation orders on the firefighting helicopters, the residents of Selah did their duty to hold the fire from damaging their homes, proving that it really does take a village.
We all just jumped to it. Sheriffs were trying to evacuate us, but we're not going to leave our homes and let it just burn. We have to at least try to stop it. It's our home there.
Just stick together, help each other out when we can.
KIMA's John Franklin, thank you. And so far, firefighters haven't said how that fire started. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan. Jefferson, it was cool to see at that last section of the video there, the applause that those firefighters were getting. A lot of folks say, you know, public service, police, fire, especially a thankless job, but it's good to see they're getting the appreciation. Yeah, absolutely. And part of the problem yesterday with any fires that did start was the presence of strong wind, especially towards Yakima and Selah, where we saw gusts to near 40 miles per hour yesterday. Now today, we are not expecting the magnitude of wind that some of us did experience yesterday, but it is
still going to be rather breezy in parts of the forecast area on this Thursday. We could see gusts today as high as 45 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. Gusts today up to 30 miles per hour for Pendleton and Yakima. Gusts up to 25 miles per hour this afternoon in Walla Walla. And then we will see fairly light wind today for the Tri-Cities. We still need to have that fire concern, that fire safety on top of mind today, even though there are no official red flag warnings posted on this Thursday. As we go into Friday, everybody will experience pretty light wind in our viewing area, but then wind cranks right back up as we do head into Saturday. Now let's talk about temperatures. Today is going to be a cooler day than we have seen in days prior. Highs will reach the upper 80s to low 90s in the Tri-Cities today. Anticipate upper 80s to low 90s for the Yakima Valley, low to mid 80s today, a bit cooler in the Kittitas Valley with upper 80s close to 90 degrees for the Blue Mountain foothills. Everybody today will be looking at sunshine overhead. Now let's talk about the next 3 days because a big time warm up is coming as we do go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On Friday, high temperatures will reach the low to mid 90s. Saturday will feature a return to mid to upper 90s in our viewing area. And then on Sunday, here comes a return to that very high heat with upper 90s to low 100s. What I will say is that throughout the weekend, we are going to continue to see sunshine with these warming temperatures, but due to local area wildfires, there may be some haze and smoke in the sky. And what I will say is that even as we go into next week, temperatures are still going to be staying in the upper 90s to low 100s. Right now, I'm going to throw it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. Battelle announced their largest donation of over $3 million towards a new STEM learning center. It will be at Columbia Basin College. The new center will be used to engage with the community and with a hands-on STEM experience. Funds will be used to refurbish an existing building on the CBC campus to house the center, along with creating new programs and an immersive experience. Leaders at Battelle say this decision was made to create more future scientists and engineers in the community.
This money is great, it'll help for a time, but we really want to build something to be lasting, that'll be here decades from now. I want to see generations of scientists coming through this building long after I'm retired that saw this, got to go to the STEM Center and get excited, get a twinkle in their eye.
Leaders at Columbia Basin College say they plan to learn from other successful STEM centers across the country to ensure success here. We'll provide updates on the center as we learn more. And speaking of kids, a longtime summer tradition at Valley Mall is once again underway. It's the Yakima Kids Club, which offers families a free way to keep their kids entertained during the summer break. KIMA's Anissa Williams shows the fun the kids are having.
Now in its 12th year, today's Cirque du Fun theme included music, ribbon twirling, spin art frisbee, arts and crafts, and face painting, along with giant chess and Connect 4.
We really want to create those memories for kids during the summer when there's not a lot of programming for youth, especially free programming. So we wanted to become one of those places that kids could come and really just having that fun for kids to get out of the house and parents a chance to have someone else entertain their kids for a little bit.
Attendance typically ranges from 200 to 250 kids, though some events have drawn up to 500. Butler says each week will focus on a different theme, including island adventures, Jedi training, and Comic-Con.
The themes, we kind of just go with a lot of what's relevant in, pop culture and just some of those tried and true classics. So this one was one of our tried and true classics, and next week is actually, kind of Jurassic fun. So playing off of the new Jurassic Park movie, and there's some other themes that are coming up later.
The series not only serves families, but it also supports local businesses and talent.
A lot of our event staff here, they're local people that needed part-time employment. We're working with different small businesses for some of our items that we bring in. We're working on more of that live performance piece within our stage. That's something that's really new for us. So we're working on finding some of that local talent and giving them that opportunity to get some exposure in the community.
KIMA's Anissa Williams, thank you. And the Kids Club series will continue weekly through early August. For more information, you can visit our website, KIMATV.com. The Ironman 70.3 race is returning to the Tri-Cities this September, with planning for it already well underway. A map of the new bike route was recently dropped. Organizers say last year's event brought $7 million into the Tri-Cities and helped put us on the map. This year, they're trying to improve whatever they can, including the impacts of those races that they had on local roads.
To get the 56 miles, you've got to have some impacts. There's no way you can do it without them. But last year's course created sort of a bubble within the city of Richland where there were cyclists crossing traffic at two ends and around, making a circle there.
Now this year, with feedback from the community, the route has been adjusted and should reduce some of those concerns. And if you love Legos, then you'll want to mark a couple of dates on your calendar in the month of October because a Lego convention is coming to the Hapo Center. The Tri-Cities Brick Convention, as it's being called, will be held on October 11th and 12th. Promoters say professional Lego artists will show off some of their best creations. Plus, there will be meet and greets with Lego celebrities. Tickets are $14.99 for either day. And if you're looking for something to do tonight, the Yakima Federal Summer Night Concert Series continues this evening. This month's free concert at the Rotary Pavilion on Yakima Avenue features Down North, a band who with a unique brand of psych-infused punk soul featuring Star Anna, singer-songwriter from the Pacific Northwest. Each concert is free and family-friendly with music from 6 p.m. Bring your own chairs and be prepared for those warmer temps. Food vendors will be at the event, plus there's a beer garden that opens at 5:30 p.m. Thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. That does it for us. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, Keeper and KIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific morning.